I swear I'm going to get used to this new setup. Swear. Okay. I have a lot of things that I want to talk about and unpack tonight. It's a sensitive topic. I guess that's a good way to start. Because well, I know this is a sensitive topic, and let me tell you, I had some things happen to me. I've lost, like, I was just like, I'm looking for my phone because I needed to make sure that I shared this video. I know I keep forgetting to share this. Hang on 30 seconds. I'm supposed to share it because when I put my when I post on Facebook, which I know we've been talking about, when I post on Facebook, I can't share it to my group, the Developing Empath, unless I don't want to see comments, because it's a closed group and it's a private group. And I can't see comments. I can't see who's commenting. I just see Facebook user. So that's fine, but I really like to see who I'm talking to. I know, it's crazy, isn't it? So anyway, this past weekend, without giving away, too much here, or TMI, my son got a stomach bug. My youngest son got a stomach bug. Luckily, I was out of town. Unfortunately, I'd apparently gotten the virus from him before I left. I know. My brother accused me of being Typhoid Mary because my aunt got sick and then I got sick. So I got sick and I had a little bit of downtime. So much fun. But in my downtime, I was watching some videos. I was catching up on my video watching. So I was watching these videos, and there's a couple of channels that I watch that are reaction videos. I guess that's the best way to call them, is that they're reaction videos. The other way, I guess, let me see how this lady addresses herself. Her name is Hannah Alonso. This is where this came from, by the way. This is where this whole thing stemmed from, was me watching Hannah Alonso. First of all, I love her. She's awesome. But secondly, she had a video that came out, feels like just recently. She had a video that came out, I think yesterday, because this was the second one that I watched. The first video has been a little bit, and that video was called The Overconsumption on TikTok, the overconsumption of influencers. And what she was showing is people going and saying, I've gone and done this like $900 Sephora haul, or I just ordered 16 purses from this really expensive boutique or name or whatever. I'm not good with these kind of things. To be honest with you, when I was in high school, I wanted a Dooney and Burke purse. I wanted it really, really bad. I am 52 years old and I still really like Dooney and Burke. And that surprised my husband, and he was like, I didn't know you like expensive purses. And I was like, well, I don't usually have expensive purses because our 8-year-old recently put slime in my purse. He was like, can you hold this for me? Can I put this in your purse? And I was like, yeah, you can. And I really wasn't paying attention to what he was doing. And he put slime, not in a container, inside my purse. So that was fun. That was super fun for me to clean up. And hey, Tiffany, that was super, super fun for me to clean up. Slime in a purse. Yeah, highly recommend getting that. So that's why I don't have expensive purses. And of course, Dr. Seuss is like, well, I wish I knew that, so I knew that I could buy these things for you. I was like, I will let you know when I'm ready to have an expensive purse. And it will probably be when these two either appreciate money, appreciate nice things, or they're out of the house. That's it. So anyway, this this creator on YouTube, I follow her. Her name is Hannah Alonso. I really like her. She does all this research and all this stuff. She talks about MLMs a lot. But I watched this video over the weekend about TikTokers overconsumption stuff. And I was really fascinated with it. And then yesterday, she came out, I think it was yesterday, I'm not sure. It was recently, like really in the last couple of days, because I just saw it yesterday. She came out with this video called the Underconsumption Core. Now, it's a little too far. So that's what triggered this whole thing, okay? That and a couple of things that was like been bouncing around in my head. So I want to talk about, like, last week we were talking about toxic independence and toxic positivity. This week I want to talk a little bit like, are we going too far when we're on our healing path? Are we taking things too far? The reason why is because I do see this. I see this all the time. So some of you know I'm back in school. I'm not going to go into that here, but it does have to do with counseling. It does have to do with psychology. So I've really been looking into a lot of stuff more. And I've been talking to like people that are my clients that are empaths and listening to like where they've been, where they were, where they went to from on their healing journey and where they are now. What we have a tendency to do, and I have spoken about this so many times on this show, I've spoken about this, is that when we first start our healing journey, we go like to the extreme, right? We go way into the way extreme. If we've been somebody who we felt like somebody was running over us, taking advantage of, any kind of like situation where we felt like we were being, and I don't want to say the A word, but we were being not treated well, not treated nicely. If we were in that situation, when we start healing, we may overcompensate. We may overcompensate and just be like, no one's going to treat me like that ever again. So if somebody steps in front of you because they don't see you at the grocery store and they step in front of you in the self-checkout lane, happens every time I'm in Kroger, every time. If you may go to the extreme and just be like, no, I will be seen. I will be seen. Okay. We need to ratchet that down a little bit. Do you deserve to be seen? 100%. That person that stepped in front of you may be dealing with a whole load of crap that you're not even aware of. They may have stepped in front of you because they're a selfish douche and they have no manners. Okay? Valid. They also may have stepped in front of you because they came to Kroger to buy a cake for a funeral, that they needed to take a cake to the grieving family, or they may be grieving and they may have bought the cake for them to consume in the parking lot. I've done that 100%. Donuts? Oh my gosh. I mean, one of my friends gave me a tin that has donuts on it, and I have it down here somewhere. Right now it's just not like exposed. But the thing is, we all have, like, there's a lot of different stuff going on with all of us. all of us, all the time. So the only thing that you can really register is what is going on with you. What the only thing that you can really say is like, this is going on with you. Was that person trying to be rude? Maybe. If they stepped in front of you, if they cut you off, if they, said something in an email that was inappropriate, whatever. Were they being rude? Maybe. Yeah, there's a lot of butt heads out there. Trying not to cuss. There's a lot of butt heads out there. There's a lot of douchebags out there. 100%. But what if they weren't? What if they were just tired? What if they were just exhausted? What if their kid had the flu and they haven't slept in like 36 hours? I mean, these are things that are just happening, right? So I want to talk about like our accountability, our accountability. We're not in charge of anybody else. Even if you're a parent, even if you like have a slew of animals, whatever's going on, you are still not in charge. You're not. You have parameters around your kids. You're trying to teach them and show them, hopefully, to be a kind person, to be a good person, to do the right thing, whatever. But really think about this. We're just trying to keep them alive, right? As parents, we're just trying to keep them alive and maybe out of jail. I mean, I don't know. It's my goal, really. I mean, they're 8 and 10. I don't expect them to go to prison tomorrow, But I'm just saying, well, hello, Badre. I like that name. Badre. I like your name. I'm probably mispronouncing it, but yes. So the thing is, what we want to do is I recognize that I do have some control over my kids. Some. Okay. I try really hard to feed them nutritious food, but they're really picky eaters. And sometimes I just need to get food into their bodies. Like I just need for them to eat something. I make sure they brush their teeth. Dr. Seuss makes sure they brush their teeth. I make sure they brush their hair and that they have on clothes to go to school. I try really hard to keep up with their schoolwork. But the thing is, they don't always share it with me. So I'm giving you that example because I do think we are in charge of our children. I do. Charge of, not control of. I am not under any kind of illusions that my boys are like completely under my control. No, it just doesn't happen. I mean, because thing one has lost another pair of glasses, and I'm not even going to go into that because it's so irritating. But comes down to the fact that his brother also wears glasses, and he doesn't like it that his brother is wearing glasses now. So he conveniently lost his glasses so that he doesn't have to be at school wearing glasses at the same time as his younger brother. It's weird. It's wild. Seriously, I have no control over this. So what I do have control over is me, 100%. What I have control over is me and how I'm responding to that. Now, the thing, there's like, I have all these little notes. I have like pages and pages of little notes that are just things that I have amassed that really fit this situation because I have talked about self-care. I have talked about being an empath. I have talked about these things until I'm blue in the face. I talk about these things because I think that they are really, really important. But just like these underconsumption and overconsumption videos that started this whole line of thinking for me, I feel like we can take things too far. I feel like we can absolutely take things too far. Like, let's talk about some of these buzzwords. All right, let's talk about some of these like phrasings and things that I do feel like are really, really important, but they get misused. Okay. Gaslighting. Gaslighting. Ooh, that's a big one. That's a big one. Now, I love old movies. Like, I love old movies from the 50s and from the 60s. Big fan. Even the 40s, to be honest with you. I love old movies. There was a movie called Gaslight back in the 50s. And I thought it was great then. I thought it was awesome. I thought he was a jackass, but the character. But anyway, gaslighting, that is a huge like trend, a word that we're just throwing around a lot lately. Boundaries. Boundaries is another one. Like, you're overstepping my boundaries. Okay. We're going to get into that one big time. Self-love. I thoroughly 100% believe in self-love, self-care, self-love, all of those things. Honoring yourself. I think that that is really important. But it gets to a point where you are neglecting every other person on this planet for yourself. That's not how the world works. It's not. It's not. There has to be a balance. There has to be a balance here. Honoring yourself. That's another one. I love that. I do. I feel like we should honor ourselves. I feel like we should focus on ourselves. But there is a difference between selfish and self-full. There's a big difference. It's just like the airlines say, please, take care of yourself before you help someone else, but help someone else. If you see someone struggling, help them. Help them. Now, here's the thing. I can absolutely testify to being the person that took it too far. I had a very turbulent, unpleasant teenage experience. Okay. It was unpleasant. I took it too far after that. I started healing, and instead of working just on me and what I could control, I tried to control everybody else. I tried to be mouthy and be like, no, I'm so sorry. You're not allowed to do that to me. You're not allowed to do that to me. Well, actually, people aren't allowed to do things to you, but they can, and you can't control it. But you can control how you react, how you respond. So people could mouth off to me, be rude or disrespectful, and I just didn't have to respond. I could have gotten up and left the room instead of going, you can't do that to me. Okay, that is now me trying to control them. Do you see the difference? Me controlling the narrative of what was going on with me would have been me exiting, leaving the room, and just being like, and we're done here. You don't get access to me. But me saying, you can't do that to me, that's now me trying to control someone else. You can politely say, please don't speak to me that way. That's a request. But me saying, you can't do that to me, that's a command, and that switches it. That switches it entirely, right? It's unpleasant. It is. So, and this is the thing, I have said this on here before. I know I have, because I have presented this particular piece of paper on this show before. Most of the arguments that we're having with other people, Most of the things that we're trying to control in other people, most of the criticism that we have for other people is stuff that we have about ourselves. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I talk to people every single day, and I can tell you that I just go, "Oh my gosh, yeah, I do that." And yeah, I hate it. And I tell my clients this all the time. I'm like, "I feel like your guides are speaking to me." For those of you that are my clients, you've heard me say that. I can't name I I can't name one of my clients that this hasn't happened to me, where I have seriously just stopped and been like, "I need to write that down because I'm gonna forget it," because I forget stuff after I get out of a session with a client, but I hear things, I experience things. If I start criticizing somebody else, I am to a place in my life and on my journey that I can actually stop and go, "Oh, oh, oh, girl, hang on, hang on. Look at yourself. What do you do that's like that? What do you do that's similar to that?" I mean, me criticizing somebody because they have too many projects going at one time and they're not ever finishing any of them. Y'all, I've not been able to park in my carport for almost 3 years because I have approximately 157 projects going in my carport right now. Are they ones that I'm going to finish? I don't know. We'll see. But I have a plan that I'm going to get rid of a project if I don't finish it within 6 months. So that's how I'm fixing things for myself. That way, now I can tell my client, I can be like, okay, I've been in the same situation. I'm currently in the same situation. So I am going to, this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm holding myself accountable, which happens to be the next thing I want to talk about. But most of the arguments, most of the criticisms, most of the control that we are trying to do to someone else is because we are not looking at our own reflection. We're seeing our behavior in somebody else and we're criticizing them for it because it's easier for us to try and control someone else than it is for us to work on ourselves. It's normal, it's natural, it's a human feeling. It is. I almost want to say it's like a human instinct. However, it's part of the healing journey. Don't camp out in this. Do not camp out in this. Step back. When you start seeing yourself become super critical of someone else, super critical or super controlling of something else, stop. Look in the mirror. Who are you really arguing with? Who are you really trying to control? Is it somebody else or is it yourself? Now, this is a natural instinct too. I just want to say this before I tell you because I have a feeling I'm going to get some emails about this. I do get emails, believe it or not. Maybe I should take the email down. I just found out that my website has gone live without anything on it. I don't know how that happened. I don't know what happened. There's nothing on it, but my website is live. It's very confusing, whatever. Anyway, this is a knee-jerk reaction when we're on our healing journey, when we're on a path of healing. And this is taking things too far, all right? Being defensive while healing. It's a knee-jerk reaction. Being defensive while healing. Again, I am telling you, every time I've gotten on a healing journey, I have a very strong knee-jerk reaction to being defensive. I get defensive because I'm like, I'm working on it. Or somebody says something and maybe they're joking. Maybe they're joking. Maybe they're just trying to help me be accountable. Maybe they're just making an observation that doesn't have anything to do with me, and I snap. And I'm just like, I'm doing the best that I can. Okay. Most of us are. Unless we're a jackass, most of us are, right? So here's what I have to say. And this was something that just like, I had a video going in my office today while I was working, because I'm like trying to get like a bunch of stuff done like here at the end of the month. Procrastination much? So I'm trying to get a bunch of stuff done, and this video came on in the back, and I don't even know where it came from because I just wrote it down very quickly. It said, someone holding you accountable is not the same thing as someone attacking you. That was perfect. That was so perfect for what I was planning on talking about tonight, what I'm talking about now. Someone holding you accountable is not the same thing as someone attacking you. It is not. It's not. Because someone trying to hold us accountable is probably someone that cares about us. Someone holding us accountable is what empaths usually do to a narcissist, is say, hey, didn't you say this though? Didn't you say you wanted this? That's what a lot of that empath narcissistic relationship is. The empath is trying to hold the narcissist accountable. And that is not attacking. But what does the narcissist do? They pivot and start attacking. They pivot and start attacking because they get defensive. They get defensive at somebody holding them accountable. Now, I have said this before. I will say it many, many more times through the course of the rest of my life. I do feel like narcissists are unhealed. No. I do feel like some narcissists are unhealed empaths, or empaths that have gotten so damaged that they've gone to the dark side. They've gone into Darth Vader world. They have flipped and gone to the dark side. That's what I feel like with a lot of narcissists that I deal with. Not all, but a lot. 78%, 76%. No, I'll go back. I'll be generous. 78, 79% of the narcissists that I deal with are unhealed empaths, or they're empaths that have gotten so damaged they have gone to the other end of it. They have gone to the other end of that spectrum. It's not a good place. It's not. And I have been there. It is painful. It's not easy. But this is where we start working with accountability. And I'm getting to it, I promise. Okay, accountability. Let's just start with that. All right. So one of the things that I made notes into my phone. I told you guys I have notes all over the place today because it's just, it's kind of crazy. So I want to talk about some of the buzzwords that we do hear, but maybe they're not being abused. They're not being overused as much. Okay. So when we're hearing boundaries or gaslighting, or hang on, I have the list. Oh, here it is. honoring yourself, those kind of things. These are the things that I want you to also bandy about in your head. Okay? Self-management, self-help, self-aid, self-compassion, personal care. Now, did any of those words sound like someone else had something to do with it? No, because it's all about you. It's all about the individual. It's all about your healing journey. Not that person, not this person, not this person. Nobody else. Not your kids, not your spouse, not your parents, not your grandparents, whatever the case may be. That is all about self. So making things a priority for you, eating better, staying hydrated, getting enough sleep, right there will cure a lot of problems. Getting enough sleep. Seriously. Setting goals and priorities. Well, that's awesome, right? So this is the other thing that I want to talk to you guys about when we're on this journey of the self. Holding yourself accountable, having self-accountability. That comes a lot from journaling. It comes a lot from journaling and putting it out there and saying, this is how I feel. This is where I'm at. And oh my gosh, I forgot another buzzword that's a huge one. Triggered. Well, god dang. I mean, everything can trigger me. All right. The cat is literally irritating the crap out of me right now. Like, I'm looking at her and I'm like, she knows she's doing it. She knows it. But it's a cat. Mercury is going to try and trigger me no matter what, because she's a cat and she knows it's like she likes the crazy in me. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I haven't talked to her about it. My hair. Oh, my hair can do a doozy on me. My kids acting crazy. Again, trigger. Dr. Seuss. I mean, are you kidding me? I've been with the same man for 15 years and I am really just like, how do women do this? How do they stay with the same person for umpty years? Like, I don't get it. I mean, you know, sometimes things just trigger. But the thing is, it's the trigger. You don't have to react. You can step back. You can just take it. I'm just like, just gonna pop to the bathroom for a minute. Just gonna pop outside for a second. You know, give me a minute. Just gonna listen to this fun thing on my phone while I go put the clothes in the dryer. You know, whatever I got to do to get out of that situation. I don't love it. I request. I'll say, please stop doing that. If they choose to listen to me, great, fantastic. If not, I got to step out for just a minute. Just a second, you know, just to regroup and be like, what's going on with them that they're trying to push my buttons? What's going on with them? That's what I start asking myself. And then I start going, okay, these men that you live in the house with are not your dads. Because seriously, you can look at a definition of daddy issues in like any dictionary online, and I can assure you that my face is going to be one right up there in the top 10 of daddy issues. I mean, pretty close, you know. because I have 2 dads. I'm so special. Besides being a Virgo with Capricorn rising, I'm really, really special. By the way, Mercury's in Aquarius. Tomorrow is the Lunar New Year. We're already feeling this new moon energy. Shut up. It's freaking awesome. Yeah. So anyway, back to this. Journaling is a fantastic outlet, okay, to help you keep yourself accountable. Now, I'm not going to show you all of my stuff, but I listened to this really awesome lady online, and I will tag, if I can remember, I'll look her up. But I started listening to this lady. All she does is calendars, journals, and she teaches you how to make your own. She critiques them. It's a fabulous thing. So I started making my own calendar because I love my digital calendar. I love, love, love it. But there's nothing like writing this stuff down, you know? So I started making my own calendar because I can't find a calendar that suits all of my needs. I can't. So what I have is I'm going to show you parts of it, but I'm not going to show you all of it because, first of all, I have client names in here and I have personal stuff. No, we're not going there. So this is part of my calendar that I created. I printed this off of Canva. It was free. I printed this off of Canva. I glued it into a notebook that I really liked. Another lady that I follow, she buys random blank journals, and she uses wallpaper samples to cover the front and back, pretty wallpaper samples that she really loves. And I'm like, that's kind of neat. That's kind of cool. So I do have some, I'll show you this one. This is my plans. So it's things that it's a wish list that I have goals that I'm trying to get for my office or do for the house. Things I need to do or places I need to go, people I need to see, return a book to Stephanie that I should have returned almost 2 months ago. So Stephanie, if you're watching this, I'm really sorry. You're on my list. Christina, my friend that I finally managed to text back today after she texted me on Christmas Eve. I am winning with that. Just little stuff like that. I'm just a little crazy, whatever. But I created this myself. And so I'm not in a rush. I'm not putting down every single month. I have the rest of the months right here. So I already have February in there, and I'm getting ready to line up with March. And so I have blank my plans. Again, I did this one off of Canva. And I can't get the camera to focus. There we go. I did this off of Canva, and it's just, I made this more suited for me. I did the same thing with my appointment log, that it looks like this, so that I know, wow, I just have, I've been painting. I'm sorry, guys. I paint under my fingernails. I'm filthy. But this is what my appointments look like. So I have week-to-week appointment logs. It's just fantastic. I love it. But I sort of created my own, and I have little spaces in there where I can journal. If I need longer journaling, which sometimes I do, that's what I have this for. This handy little case that I was I found thrifting. It was so fantastic. But I love this. And you open it up and you can put in blank pages, you can put in line pages. And this one has these little things in the center where you can put that in. But it also fits my favorite little journaling notebook. And this one just says mommy on it. to differentiate that from Thing 1 and Thing 2's little composition book. But I love the half books because I can get a lot of stuff in the half book, you know, and it gives me just lots of room. I can brainstorm, but I can also just let everything out in here. And it fits in here perfectly. So awesome. You can also find journals that are already filled out for you, like a gratitude finder. I use these sort of as a basis, like to create something for myself, because let me tell you something. In your healing journey, it is very, very important because you're going to feel like crap. I don't want to sugarcoat this. You're going to feel like crap a lot. Especially if you are coming off of something that was addictive in nature. And I'm not just talking about something that might be illegal. I'm talking about legal substances too. What about smoking cigarettes? Nicotine is absolutely horrific to try and come off of. Sugar is absolutely horrific to try and come off of. I apparently am addicted to adopting cats. So that's not easy to overcome. Is it? That's not your dinner. That's mine. I'm serious, Mary. So, seriously, does anybody need a cat? I mean, she's really cute. Look at that. Look at that. She'll share dinner with you. So the thing is, you're going to feel bad. You are. You know, even if you're coming off of something that is simple, like, okay, I'm not trying to say like too much here, but one of my siblings, when he was much younger, had had some issues, as we all do when we're in high school and teenagers. But he was on an antidepressant, and it was really, really hard for him when he came off of it. And when he came off of it, it was almost like he had arrested development, because he sort of went back to that age. And as I understand it, it's like that for most substances. Even if it's an antidepressant or an anti-anxiety, or, you know, like, I mean, seriously, I'm not saying too much. I think, like, a lot of you know that Dr. Seuss has a lot of anxiety issues. So the thing is, when you're coming off of those substances, it can make you, like, sort of return to the age that you were when you started taking them. Whether you were 16 or 20 or 25 or 30, whatever it was, you return to that level of mentality, because any substance, illegal, legal, prescription, non-prescription, whatever. I mean, I'm not talking about Tylenol. I think y'all know what I'm talking about. But it can stop you from mentally developing and growing. So you have to return to it, and you have to feel those feelings. You have to go through it. You have to embrace it. Not easy. Not easy. Especially if you are, 20 something years old and you're still feeling like you're 16. Especially if you are, 30 something, almost 40, and you're like mentally traipsing back to being 20 years old. Those are huge differences. We have a lot of maturity that happens during those years. And to return to that mentality, it's not easy. And that's when we will get defensive. That's when we feel that knee-jerk defense that we're just like, no, because someone's trying to hold us accountable. Someone's trying to say, wait, you're supposed to be healing. This can be a form of toxicity as well. This can be toxic healing traits, because we don't want to get stuck in that. We actually want to heal. We don't want to get stuck in the buzzwords, in the catchphrases. We don't want to get stuck in that. We actually want to embrace it and just go, okay, I got to figure this out. They're at a different place in their life than I am. I've got to figure this out on my own. And if you are a healing empath, if you are healing, you can't look at everybody like they're a narcissist just because they're doing something that's right for them. Just because they're not caving to you and coddling you. That's not what normal people do. That's what unhealed empaths do, is cater to people and coddle to them. You don't want other people to turn into unhealed empaths, do you? That would mean that you're holding them hostage. And I think I did that to my parents when I was a teenager. I couldn't figure out anything about myself. It was so restrictive and I couldn't figure me out. And everybody expected me to just be who they expected me to be. And unfortunately, it was a different person. Every single person in my family that I was very close to was expecting a different version of me to come out. That was fun. I don't recommend that. But the thing is, again, in my 20s, I went in the opposite direction. I went in the wrong way. And I've told you guys, I was a total ass in my 20s and up until in my 30s. I mean, I was just walking around in pain and couldn't figure it out. It really, really took a lot. And it took a lot out of me to get there. And it also took me not, thankfully, running off some really valuable relationships that I have, that I still have. And I'm so grateful to those people for not abandoning me, for not leaving me, but trying to hold me accountable and trying to get me to see that they were not my enemy. The people that are, and if you are the person that's trying to hold somebody accountable, you have to find a way to do it with love. You have to find a way to not make someone who's already defensive feel attacked. That is a tricky, tricky thing. That is walking a very fine line. And it's difficult, and I don't envy you. Are they going to be nice to you? Probably not. Probably not. They're going to say a lot of shit about you. Yep. They're not going to be happy, and they're going to try to throw all of their stuff on you. You're the reason why blah, 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 because they need an outlet, because they haven't started this stuff yet. Or maybe they've started journaling and they haven't gone back and read it. That's something else that you have to do. You have to go back and read it. If you say in a passage that you want this kind of life, then you have to start working towards it. Manifesting is work. Law of attraction is work, because you have to put your energy in it. You have to align your energy with what it is you want. That's not easy. That's work. That is working on healing. That's working your path. So hold yourself accountable. Journal about it. Do all of the self things, but self-accountability, self-management is a huge part of that. Because ultimately, whether you're a mom, a dad, a grandparent, like a school principal, a governor of the state, you ultimately can only control yourself. You can give other people guidelines. You can give them parameters. I cannot walk away from my kids. I can't. They're 8 and 10. If I left them alone and said, "Hey, mommy's got a dip. You triggered me. I feel like you're gaslighting me." Whatever. I can't do that to an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old because they don't know shit. They don't know anything, right? They only know the stuff that I'm telling them and the stuff that they're learning at school. They don't know. I mean, okay, and the stuff they pick up on YouTube. They don't know. So I'm not going to sit there and tell them all kinds of crap and like look at a child and say, "You're triggering me. You're gaslighting me." They don't even know what that means. So I just go, "Mommy's going to run into the bathroom real fast." Okay. I'm not leaving them alone because you can't leave them alone. They will start fighting over a truck or a dinosaur or like who farted the loudest. Yeah, those are real fights. Come at me. I just I just look at them and go, there's only so much I can control. Right now, we're just working on trust with each other. And I'm just like, I want you to be able to trust me enough that when you do have a problem that you can come to me. You don't have to follow all of my advice. You don't have to do things exactly the way I would do them. I'm just going to give you a few instances. I'm going to give you a few examples. I want you to be able to make your own decisions. That's what I'm thinking with my kids. Is it going to work 100% of the time? No, because that already, I'm just like, can you not just do this my way for 1 minute? Can you not just do that? I mean, I say that because I'm like, we're working on an art project together. I'm like, you can do 15 of these as like wildly inappropriate and as messy as you want to. I just need one that we can turn in. I just need one that we can give to grandma. I just need one. That is the kind of negotiations that I do with my kids so that I don't feel like I'm being held hostage. I know I am not a perfect mom at all, but I'm just telling you guys that I really feel like even as a mom, there's not a whole lot I can do to control my kids. There's not. I just try to give them parameters. I try to like give them some guidelines, keep them inside the fence, and then keep them alive, well fed, those kind of things. So here's another quote. And I know I've said this on here before because, again, I got it from the Metaphysical Practices notebook. The only reason you're not living the life you actually want to live is because you keep on feeding the life you don't want to live day by day. This is also about healing. If you are not living the life that you want to live, are you feeding that I'm still healing stagnant energy instead of growth? Are you feeding the like, okay, yesterday I handled this very badly. Today I'm going to try and handle it differently. Yesterday I cussed out some poor old lady at Kroger because she stepped in line in front of me at the self-checkout because she literally did not see me. Today, I'm going to try and do better. I didn't do that, by the way. I did not. I did not cuss out some little old lady. I didn't. I did flip off a guy in an Escalade. But that's a whole nother story. And he was wrong. I needed him to know it. But honestly, he didn't see me. So I don't really even know how it helped. Back to this. So, are we taking healing into an extreme? There is a middle ground. There's too many extremes that are going on right now. There's too many things that are in the extreme. Just in our just in our political sense, right? With the United States, it's a little crazy right now. It's getting too extreme. Let's just back down. Most of us are somewhere in the middle. Most of us. Maybe we're a little bit more to the left or a little bit more to the right. I don't know that many extreme people. I really don't. However, I know a lot of extreme people when it comes to healing, because we do go way to the other side. There was a thing, I don't know how many of you remember. Well, I mean, you probably remember it, but I don't know how many of you watched it. There was a TV show, Frasier, in the 90s. Was it in the 90s? I think it was in the 90s. The 90s and the 2000s. But Frasier's brother had gotten married and to his dream woman, to Daphne, and he had a heart attack. So he had surgery and stuff, and he had to be on this special diet right after surgery. That's normal. Right after surgery, you have to be on a special diet. Not allowed to do any heavy lifting or walk upstairs or do anything like that. So they made a lot of concessions for him and all this stuff. But then one day, Daphne had just had enough, because he had been on this I'm still recovering, I'm still healing kind of thing. And she was like, you've been given the all clear. It's now been months. You need to figure it out. You need to get comfortable with the fact that this is your new normal, and you need to step back into life. That is a huge thing. Yes, Frasier aired from mid-90s to early 2000s. Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you. I appreciate that. Y'all, Tiffany is on YouTube as Down to Earth. And that's her YouTube channel, Down to Earth Metaphysics, right? I see Down to Earth Meta, Tiffany. I think it's Metaphysics, right? Down to Earth Metaphysics, which I love, because I think that is absolutely appropriate. Because again, I think taking a spiritual practice can be taken too far, because we are here as a physical being to experience things in our physical selves, but we are a spiritual creature. We are supposed to balance. We are supposed to keep both in balance. And that's something that you need to think about. If you are on this healing journey, or if someone that you are really close to is on this healing journey, it's important for everyone to keep balance. It is. It's not easy. It's not, because the first thing you want to do is dive into what made you better. But if what made you better, if you spend too much time in that, it could make you sick again in a different way. When you have a bacterial infection, or you're on antibiotics of some kind, the antibiotics made you feel better, but you don't need to take antibiotics for the rest of your life to feel better. You go, okay, all right, those made me feel better. Now, what can I do to continue staying healthy? What can I do to continue down this road? You don't need to keep having the surgery. You don't need to keep taking antibiotics for the rest of your life. You need to find that place and say, this is going to keep me healthy, physically, spiritually, mentally, whatever, and find your new normal. But not everyone out there is your enemy. Not everyone out there is your enemy. And the people that love you, the people that are staying by you if you're on a healing journey, the people that are staying by you when you're being an ass, well, those are keepers. And you should give them a hug. But the thing is, those are the people that are probably just trying to hold you accountable. Or those may be the people that you damaged when you were really messed up, when you were on your healing journey. I know that when I went to the extreme, when I became Darth Vader and like used the Force for bad, it was really hard on several of my close relationships. It was. But those were the people that kept pushing me to hold myself accountable, to just and there were times that I got really upset and really mad and was just like, "Why are you doing this to me? Why are you coming at me?" And they were like, "I'm not. I'm not. You said this is what you wanted to do." Well, I changed my mind. Okay. What do you want to do? I don't know. They were holding me accountable for my healing journey so that I didn't get stuck on the antibiotics for the rest of my life. You don't have to live that. Whatever healed you was a good thing. It was. But it's not a place that you need to sit in. It's not. You need to move beyond it and say, I appreciate the healing. I appreciate the antibiotics. I appreciate the epiphany. I appreciate coming off of fill in the blank. I appreciate this. I appreciate you getting out of that bad relationship. I appreciate that. Don't stay in that. I appreciate that. I learned from it. Now I'm moving forward. And if you're recovering from a bad relationship, maybe you'll be able to spot it quicker. Right? I mean, the thing is, I know that having like an autoimmune disorder, and I know like hives, I know what kicks it in, triggers it, if you will. I know what does it. So I pace myself. I don't have beef every single night. I love cheese. I don't eat it at every meal. Or I eat goat cheese because it's not from a cow. I love whole milk. Oh my gosh. I love it in my coffee. I can't drink whole milk as much as I used to, but I have found a delightful coconut creamer, not coconut milk, but a coconut creamer that is so wonderful. And in fact, that's the company. It's so delicious. So delicious. Anyway, if you want the name of it, just email me. I'll send it to you. But it's incredible. It's awesome. It's non-dairy, but it's delightful, and it doesn't taste like I am putting it doesn't taste like I'm putting suntan oil in my coffee. You know how some of the coconut milks can give you that pina colada flavor? Yeah, it doesn't taste like that. It's really quite delightful. But I still have beef. I just have it in moderation. I still eat cheese. I just eat it again in moderation. Yeah. You know, I eat a lot of avocados. There's some differences. There's some things that there's differences in it with like my eating habits. Knowing now that this is what I have. Okay, we've assessed the situation. I know what is wrong. I know what triggers it, if you will. I know I'm using a buzzword, but I also like know this is how to fix it. So I'm not living in that constant like thing of, oh my gosh, I'm stressed. I'm eating unhealthy. Oh crap, now I have hives. Oh my gosh, now I'm really stressed. Now things are getting worse. And I'm not living in that constant cycle. So there's some good things, right? Oh, it's great for mouths. Yes, yes. It's not coconut milk though. It's coconut cream. And it is so delicious. And it's in a little, it looks like creamer. It's in a skinny little creamer thing, but I love it. Yeah, they have a sweet cream, which is my favorite, and Sprouts always seems to be out of it. And then they have a vanilla, which I tolerate. But I mean, it's still really good. But the sweet cream is, I don't even put sugar in my coffee anymore, Tiffany. That's how good it is. I don't put sugar in my coffee. The sugar queen. I mean, yeah, that's serious. So, anyway, this is about our healing journey, not taking it too far, but actually being on the journey, staying in it. Yes. So, what does your self care look like? And I am saying this again, self care, self management. I've already forgotten some of the notes that I made, so let me return to that, please. Self help, self aid, self compassion. Don't look for everyone else to feed it. Don't look for anyone else to feed it. No one else is going to do this for you. It's you. It's you. No one should have to change their life to accommodate your healing journey. I think it would be nice if they helped you along, but that's when they start holding us accountable. So, that's what I want to tell you guys about. And it is about I love this lady, Hannah Alonso. If you guys get an opportunity, she's not metaphysical. She's just somebody I like on YouTube. But she does a lot of does a lot of investigating and research sort of based stuff, and I just love it. But she did this underconsumption and overconsumption, two different videos. Like the overconsumption video was, I feel like, weeks ago. I don't know. I just watched it this weekend. And then it just so happened that she did the underconsumption video yesterday. And I was like, shut up. That is awesome. That is awesome. So if you get to a place where you feel comfortable in your healing journey and you're afraid you're not going to grow. You're not. Because just having Dr. Seuss text me, but just having that part of stepping outside of our comfort zone and taking care of ourselves, self-management, self-compassion, self-accountability, those are things that will help us step outside of our comfort zones, because those are very hard things. They're not easy. That is not easy at all. It's easy for me to say. I can give you examples. They're difficult things. It's hard, but it's totally and completely worth it. Realizing that the only control that you have is of the self. 100%. You only have control of your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions. And I don't care who is triggering you, gaslighting you, like overstepping your boundaries, whatever. You still have control of your feelings, your emotions, what you say, and what you do. You do. To a point, because I have gotten out of control before, just a time or two. But the thing is, we learn from that. We learn from it, and we just try to help others on their journey as well. Don't be selfish. And you can get into that thing really quickly of selfish, where I have seen wonderful, like, loving empaths go, no, because that's like overstepping my boundaries. And I'm like, okay, what boundary? And they're like, I I I don't know. What do you mean? And I'm like, what boundary are they overstepping? And they're like, Well, it's just my time. Okay. So you don't want to give this person that you love and that loves you any of your time. And they're like, oh, well, no, that's not what I mean. I'm like, yes, but that's what they're hearing. That's what that other person is hearing, that they've given you a lot of their time, but you're not willing to give them any of your time. And they're like, well, I just really don't want to do it. Okay, that's a different story. That is a completely different story. But you have to start looking at this in a different way. In relationships, we all do things for other people that we don't want to do. But if it's not reciprocated, that's when you put up a boundary. That's when you say, this is a hard line. But we all do things for each other that we don't want to do, right? I absolutely 100% do not want to leave my office and walk up to that house and walk into the hall bathroom and pick up dirty clothes off of the floor and put them in the hamper that is less than a foot away. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. But I will, and let me tell you why. Because that particular person, Dr. Seuss, took care of some stuff for me that I was just like, it wasn't that I didn't want to do it. It's just stuff that I kept forgetting about. It was stuff that I kept neglecting, and he took care of it. And I was like, thank you. Thank you so much. I didn't realize how much that was bothering me. Now, we just suffer each other like that all the time. And what really put it into perspective for me was this couple, this lady, she was on YouTube and she was in an interview, and I wish that I had written this down because I would love to give them credit for this, but I don't know who they were. I think it was a psychologist, and she said, and I believe that I have spoken about this before on this channel, she said, it's stupid to say, I'm always giving 100% in my relationship. She said, because you don't always have 100% to give. In relationships, especially ones that you're in a marriage, right? She said, sometimes I'll come home and I'll tell my husband, I have 40% today. And he'll say, don't worry about it. I got you. I can cover the 60% that you don't have today. And she said, and he's done it to me, where he's come home and just been like, it's not happening today. I got 30% to give. That's it. It's been an awful day. It's been an awful week. Let me tell you what's going on. This is all I have to give. And she goes, that's fine. We can work this out. I've got you covered. She said, the things that get really hard, or when there's really hard times, when we're in a struggle, is she says, when I come home and I say, I don't have it today. I've got 25%. And he is also going, I can't do it either. I've got 35%. She said, so that's when we have to change things. That's when we have to stop and say, something has to be cut out. Let's order pizza tonight, just so that the kids get fed, just so that we're all like have full bellies. Let's all sit down and watch TV together. Let's play a board game. Let's just rest. Forget the laundry, forget the dishes in the sink. We'll deal with that tomorrow. Right now, we got to recoup. We got to fix it. That's a relationship. It absolutely drives me crazy to see the clothes on the floor in the bathroom. But it drives me a little less crazy when I get some help on some of the things that I've had to overlook or I've had to skip. It drives me a little less crazy when somebody's done something for me. And I'm not saying that I expect that out of him or that I expect anything like that. It was just It was just a nice bonus. And I was like, okay. So I'm sure I'll walk up there tonight, pick up the clothes off the floor like I do every night. But it's fine. There have been days that I've left them. Just been like, let's just see how long that lasts. Yeah. But I forget stuff too. I forget stuff all the time. All the time. So it's fine. I mean, I'm not perfect. I know I look like I'm perfect, especially with the hair in my face. Oh my gosh. And one of my heaters just kicked on a few minutes ago. It's been a little on the blink. And now it's like one of the 7 circles of hell in here. I mean, it's hot. Like I'm sweating. Like these lights give off enough heat, but oh my gosh, it went from the nice ice house to the fun sunroom in here like real quick, you know? So now I'm sweating, but it's a compromise. Life is working together. Work your journey, work your path, but remember, you're never alone. This is not an isolated island that we live on. We are here with a lot of other people. You probably live in an apartment, in a house, somewhere with other people around you, even if it's just neighbors. Be respectful and just be a nice human. You don't have to let somebody push you around, but be nice. Be nice. Yeah. Relationships, constant give and take. Yes, in every single one. I ask people's forgiveness all the time. I texted 2 people today asking for their forgiveness and just being like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I messed up. I am so sorry that I haven't made contact with you in over a month. I'm so sorry I haven't returned your book in almost 2 months. You know, I'm sorry. So again, it's me trying to hold myself accountable by writing stuff down so that I don't forget it, by writing things down that I'm like, this is important. I really need to talk to this person. Yeah. You know, that's exactly, it's important. So that is my personal accountability. My journal is also self-accountability because I write things down in my journal. I talk about my feelings. I talk about how I want to improve my life because I feel like if I'm improving my life, that it is also going to improve the lives of Dr. Seuss, Thing 1 and Thing 2. I hope it does. I hope it doesn't make their lives worse. Oh my gosh, how horrible would that be? But we're all trying to work through something. We're all working through something. All of us. Nobody is getting away with it. And hey, we even found out a few years ago that Paris Hilton has been working through a lot of stuff. Who would have thought? I mean, a rich girl, blonde, skinny. I mean, come on. And then we crack open that like shell and find out that there's a whole bunch of stuff in there that none of us knew she was dealing with. What a shocker. So just remember, we're all dealing with something. The only thing that you can control is yourself. And when you're thinking about these little buzzwords of gaslighting and boundaries and honoring yourself, which I do think is good, and triggers, all of those things, when you're thinking about those things and you're going, they are gaslighting me. They are stepping over my boundaries. They are triggering me. Okay, you can't control them. How are you reacting? What are you doing to fix it? because you are the only one that can fix it. And I can tell you right now, if you don't react, that pisses off people like nobody's business. Yeah, it does. When you're just like, when they try and trigger you and you're just like, and then later you go journal about it, or you take a kickboxing class and you beat the stuffing out of a mannequin or something, that's different. Or you simply say, please don't fill in the blank. Please do not treat me like this. Maybe they're having a bad day. Why don't you ask them about it? You don't have to be pushed around by it. You do not have to be pushed around by it. You don't have to accept it. But you don't have to be a bitch about it either. That's words of wisdom from Jennifer. And YouTube's probably going to be like, yep, and that was one too many cuss words. We're going to yank your monetization on this one. Who knows? Who knows? It's okay. It's a knee-jerk reaction to be defensive, but just remember again, someone holding you accountable is not the same thing as someone attacking you. Okay. I think you guys are awesome. I think you guys are great. I see a lot of, I'm seeing people, of course, I'm streaming to different platforms. I'm seeing people that are here but are not commenting. That is perfectly fine. It's not a requirement. It's not. If you have anything that you want to say to me that you didn't want to put in the comments for everyone to see, you can always email me right here. Carrie from La Hermosa Bruja is, she has taken her Facebook channel down. She is on YouTube as the Independent Witch. I think that's the right YouTube handle. I believe you can still find her at La Hermosa Bruja or Carrie Rodriguez. And you can also reach her at her email address, which is La Hermosa Bruja. I also have that in a text. La Hermosa Bruja 78@gmail.com. So there you go. She's awesome. She's a fabulous reader. Yeah, she's amazing. So, but she is on YouTube and she is posting. So, and yeah, she's still on TikTok, as some of us still are. Yeah. Thank you, Tiffany. These are some really insightful comments you made. And if you're watching on Facebook, Down to Earth Metaphysics is on YouTube as well. And she has made some lovely comments on YouTube. So just putting that out there. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. I have kept you here long enough. It's funny because it's 1, 2, 3 right now. You know how I am about the numbers. Yeah. And it just switched over to 1, 2, 4. So I've been on here for 1 hour and 24 minutes. I will let y'all go. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. Thank you all for being here. And until we see each other again, get out there and make your magic. Bye, y'all.